Dramatization.
After a car wreck, you may have to fight with a highly trained insurance company rep whose job is to knock your damage claim down and out. It's a bad idea to enter the ring alone against a trained boxer, and it could be a bad idea to fight against a big insurance company by yourself. When the bell rings, attorney Dennis Sperling will be there to fight for your rights. If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck, call me, attorney Dennis Sperling, at 866-529-2444. That's 866-529-2444.
Dramatization.
Bad drivers cause car wrecks. Not paying attention to the road, operating electronic devices, and drinking while driving can lead to serious injuries. If you've been the victim of a bad driver, a trial lawyer may be able to help you recover money to pay your medical bills, reimburse you for lost wages, and compensate you for the pain caused by your injuries. If you, your friends, or family have been injured in a car wreck, contact me, attorney Dennis Sperling, toll free, 866-529-2444. I'm here to help.
Hi, my name is Dennis Sperling. I'm not a lawyer, but my daddy is.
Yeah, if you've been hurt in a car accident, call my daddy.
No need to scream and yell like a little kid.
Yeah, no, yeah.
My daddy will fight for your rights.
Yeah, fight for your rights.
If you've been involved in a car accident, call my daddy, attorney Dennis Sperling.
Hello, I'm attorney Dennis Sperling. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call me at 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy, daddy.
Hi, my name is Stephanie, and these are my two adorable and handsome sons. And that is my ex-husband, attorney Dennis Sperling. He practices personal injury law and will be more than happy to help you with claims arising from automobile accidents. He doesn't get paid unless you get paid. And as we first wives know, the more our ex-husbands get paid, the more we get paid. So let me help him help you. Call Mr. Sperling at 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy.
The boys and I are getting ready to go to the beautiful island of Hispaniola and the country of the Dominican Republic. I could definitely see the difference between how my sons were playing and how the other kids were playing, and it was a little irritating. There is the remnants of a very, very painful and dreadful time in Western history. I think it really affected them.
Right now, she and I are negotiating. I'm trying to get her to do some dances for me. Some of them sweet, sexy Latina booty dances. Baila culo, mama, baila That's what I'm talking about. Yep, that's it.
The reason the bad guy is because he says no when people try to shame him, when they try to invoke morality. No, I'm not going to lower my standards. No, I'm not going to clean up this mess that is the black community. No, I don't have time to spend my life trying to rehabilitate a woman who's been in the streets. Why? Because she's not worth it. No, I'm not going to do it, because my purpose on this earth is not to rehabilitate a woman. My purpose on this earth is to figure out what the Most High wants me to do and begin to do that. And then when a helpmate comes along, I will accept her help, a helpmate, not a patient. The Most High said he'll send you what? A helpmate, not a patient. It's not your job to psychoanalyze these broads and get them healed up and help raise their bastard kids. It will be a drain on your resources and prevent you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's not your job.
Back in America, she run her mouth. A lot of you niggas are scared of KK Keisha. Call the police up, never told you about that threesome. Thinking she decent. Went in the house, room started smelling like feces. Bad bitch, but she nasty. Bitch, you a heathen. You don't need marriage, just lease it. Travel for keepers. We don't do creepers. We don't do no shaniquas. You gotta keep up. Bitches are bad, and y'all ain't competing. BBLs, American hoes be cheating. Up in Thailand, we be cheaping. Out in Brazil, get that treatment. No, you hate it. That's why you be speaking. We travel the first of the weekend. That's the weekend why we spend. Dominican chicks with a body like Cardi, your face like a Mario beefing. She keep it high up, here we stuck. She hit that high note, baby we up. We travel the first of the weekend, that's the weekend why we spend. Dominican chicks with a body like Cardi, your face like a Mario beefing. She keep it high up, here we stuck. She hit that high note, baby we up. I'm leaving out tonight, you can keep that ho, no. Talking like we ain't got dope, broke hoes. Baby daddy drama, trash hoe, oh no. You fucking with a passport, bro, ho. 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 You fucking with a passport.
Is there traveling overseas? Shout out to all the passport bros. Somebody type passport bros in the chat room. What up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Dennis Sperling, also known as Uncle D, also known as the Blizzard King. But for the most part, I am the bad guy, okay? And there's a reason that I'm comfortable being the bad guy. See, I grew up in South Central LA. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, living in South Central Los Angeles, which means I was hood before hood was fashionable. I remember going across town sometimes. We had this little place called the Marina that sometimes it straight up Slauson, keep hitting that little freeway. I forget the name of that freeway. But we'll go up there, man, and this is where kind of LA mixed, you know what I mean? Where you would go hang out. So I would go up there in the 80s, 90s with my family, my people, well, let me say it like this, with my homeboys. And, the girls would be like, oh, no, sir, you ghetto, sir. You a hood dude. We can't. So, I'm like, okay, that's why I'm from the other side of the track. So I've always been the bad guy. I've always been the guy from the wrong side of the tracks. I've always been the outsider. I don't mind playing that role. When you get so used to it, you reap the benefits of it. You see, and what you really realize is bad guys don't always win, but they have a whole lot of fun living their lives because they're not worried about what other people think. What I like to do is tell the truth with what I'm doing. And so you're going to hear some truth tonight, and it's going to be painful. Some of you guys are gonna be angry with me. Y'all might try to say Uncle D is out here with the COON going, but it's not. I'm just gonna speak the truth to y'all, man. And I see things how they are. Somebody type open season in the chat room. Open season in the chat room. Somebody hit open season in the chat room. Somebody type open season in the chat room. Before we get going, good, big shout out to my man Big Bass, Big Bass Life for the beautiful music. And also the Cash App is up here. And if you hear something you like, feel free to go ahead and hit that up. Big shout out to my man Quiet Storm. Thank you so much for that super chat. Everybody over there on the Blizzard King page, man, make sure y'all type rah rah in the chat room. All right. So we'll know where my guys at. Rah rah in the chat room. This probably should have been reserved for the Blizzard King channel because I'm gonna step on some toes tonight. Big shout out to my man Marcus Gordon. Thank you so much, Quiet Storm, Randy, Urban, Trey 43TX. Thank you guys for the Cash Apps. Y'all came through off top. Big shout out to my man David Dice. Again, where my dudes at? If you over in the Blizzard King channel, man, if y'all have made y'all way over to the Blizzard King channel, just type rah rah in the chat room. just go ahead and that's my rowdy bunch over there. I love those guys. That's my guys over there. Rah rah. Let me get that rah rah going in the chat room. I put the link to the Blizzard King channel up, man. So y'all I'm gonna pin it to the top of the chat room. So if you guys want to go over there, that's where the party is popping off over there, man. Y'all go hang out over there if you really want to have some interaction. Let me get that pinned up. All right, so yeah, we got that out the way. So here's the thing, you guys know, man, I'm trying to see how it works with the Cash App and the PayPal as opposed to the Super Chats. Donate to either one, you see what I mean? But the Cash App, I don't have to split my money with Google/YouTube. They take 30% of everything. So, it's kind of like, damn, y'all kind of robbing me. You know what I mean? You got me working hard. But either way, you want to do a one-on-one consultation, hit me up at sperlingdennis@gmail.com. And if you want a copy of my books, which I have some left, hit me up at sperlingdennis@gmail.com. The other thing is co-parenting with the Sperlings, man. It was good tonight, right? It was good tonight. If you saw co-parenting with the Sperlings right here on my channel, it was good tonight. I know it was. I took my boys down to Dominican Republic. They had a great time. You guys got to go and see how I roll, man. So shout out to everybody who's been watching co-parenting with the Sperlings. But so y'all make sure y'all go take that back. What we trying to do is we trying to take Thursdays back. Whether you like me or not, whether you hate watching my page or not, recognize that I make black people look good. I make us look like good fathers. I make black men look like good fathers. I make black women look like honorable mothers. And irrespective of what's being said about us, if we keep pushing our own narrative and we keep it positive, we keep it uplifting, we keep changing the narrative, there's really not much they can do. I put $250,000 of my own money. Nobody financed me. Esquire Entertainment is solely owned by me. $250,000 of my own money to put those 16 episodes out, from the filming to the production, renting the equipment, buying the equipment, paying the actors, paying for the locations, paying for the editing, the sound. And on top of that, when it aired, I paid for that too. $250,000 of my own money. All I'm asking you brothers and sisters to do is just watch the show. It's only 21 minutes long each episode. Check that out, man. Go over there and check that out. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty. I'm going to show you guys a few photographs. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to all my people who are here, who've been here for a long time. Shout out to everybody who's brand new, the brand new crew. Shout out to you too. Shout out to the Wrench Mob. What I want to do is show you some video footage. Okay. Well, I'm gonna show you some stuff. I don't want YouTube getting upset with me, and this is just work from other people, so I don't want to use their pages. This lady right here. Okay. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit because I want y'all to see. All right. You looking? This handsome young lady right here. Somebody type handsome in the chat room. This handsome young lady to the left is also the same handsome young lady right here to the right. Okay. So here's what it says. Black W beat up by white male neighbor after her dog runs into his backyard. Okay? This handsome, strapping young lady's name is Vanessa Alexander. And her dog ran into her neighbor's yard. And her neighbor is a hefty 300-pound Viking of Viking descent. And she's about 100 pounds, and that's not counting that gold chain that she got on her neck. Okay. Now, her name is, again, Vanessa, and her, combatant's name is Shelly Doucette in Toronto, right? This was going on. It happened on June 20th. This is a couple of years ago, but I'm bringing it up because they're bringing it back up in the news. Happened in Toronto, right? Somebody say shout out to Drake. Drizzy, where you at, Drizzy? And, when we just look at this, right? When we look at this, and this is the part that's going to make you mad, because I've talked to you guys about your knee-jerk reactions. I've talked to you guys about that, these knee-jerk reactions. The first thing you see, right, when you see this, what do you see? Race comes up because it's a white on black sort of crime. And so your judgment or whatever you think may have happened, or hell, before we can even get to the facts, everything's clouded by racism. So we never really get a detailed account of what really happened. You see? It's just like the fact of the matter is, here in the United States, more white people get killed by the police every year than black people. But if you listen to the media, you would never know that. If you listen to some of these people who blow these issues up, you would never listen to that. You would never hear that part. Would you? I'm telling the truth. Y'all know it. Come on. Where my blackity blacks at? Where all the pro blacks at? Ain't y'all? Y'all supposed to be having a fit by now. What is he about to say? Well, let's just look at it. 300-pound dude beats up a 100-pound black woman. Y'all know he's a coward. Y'all calling him a coward already, right? This small, frail black woman, right? Some of y'all said, well, that's just what they do. These are soft targets. I know, I've heard it all before, right? And I'm not making any excuses for them. Had this been my woman, this handsome young lady been even related to me, I don't ever would want somebody like that as my woman, but I'm just saying, he would get these hands and feet and elbows. But again, they always attack people who can't defend themselves. We agree with that, right? This wasn't some strapping dude, some 250-pound linebacker prospect from, University of Texas. Most of these dudes know that they're no match for a physically fit, brother who's in good shape and who's willing and able. Matter of fact, if, this fella, Shelly, had beaten a dog like that, there'd be a much greater response to what he did. But what you're looking at is this handsome young woman who is alone and vulnerable. You see? If she had a man, he would probably do something about it. You see? But a lot of these young ladies, a lot of these lovely ladies of ours think, or really what they should do is stop believing they can do it alone. You see, BWs and children are always vulnerable. And whether you are in Canada or the UK or the United States, the police in these societies are not necessarily there to help or protect Black people. You see? And obviously, this young, strapping, handsome young lady does not have the skills to deal with the person. You see? The person that attacked her. And we have a history here in North America. Okay? We have a history of racism and all sorts of isms that we deal with. Now, that said, now it's time for me to put my bad guy helmet on. And so I got a question. I'm just going to ask, right? Let me just ask the question. I'm going to ask it. You know, this is what I do. Maybe I shouldn't. Y'all can tell me I'm wrong, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I wonder what his side of the story is. Somebody say his side of the story. What is his side of the story? This 300-pound white man. Because, see, oftentimes, again, as I said, when we start throwing race in it, everybody's judgment gets clouded. Everybody's judgment gets clouded. The facts get distorted. Everything is so we see it all through the lens of racism. Now, the thing you got to understand is this young lady, she said she had a dog. Now, I'm going to change that scenario up. Now, what happened in this particular situation? Well, her dog ran into this man's backyard. Somebody said her dog ran into this man's backyard. That doesn't sound so bad, right? A little dog runs into the backyard. That's not a big deal, right? What if I tell you that the dog was a pit bull? Somebody type pit bull in the chat room. Somebody type pit bull in the chat room. Somebody type, your pit bull ran into my backyard. Okay? Somebody type pit bull in the chat room. Does that change the scenario at all? A little bit? Huh? Add a little bit to it? We know a little bit about pit bulls down here in America. We know pit bulls, when they get older, they become a little bit more aggressive and they can be a problem. Okay, so a pit bull ran in the backyard, this man's backyard. Now, what else? Incident happens on Father's Day. Somebody type Father's Day. Hold on a minute. Father's Day. Pit bull runs in your backyard on Father's Day. What's usually going on in the backyard on Father's Day? Come on, fellas, talk to me. Huh? Father's Day, pit bull runs in the backyard on Father's Day. Huh? My question is, was his children present in that backyard on Father's Day when the pit bull ran? Did he become angry? Is there a reason why he could be angry? Did he think his family was in danger? Had he warned you previously about your pit bull? And here's something else you got to understand. The cops originally arrested the man, but they decided not to charge him. They released him. What does that tell you? Something going on here. I don't know. Something's going on. But what I do know is this: ever since these lovely ladies ignorantly began to claim not to need a man, non-black men have been beating the bejesus out of them because they waived their protection. See, when they were under the command and influence of black men when they were married women, these incidents didn't happen like that. It's almost biblical because it seems like the Lord is chastising them. And I don't want to get off on a tangent. But the wages of sin is what? My suggestion is that you ladies swallow your foolish pride, close your mouths, put a dress on, and go find your husband. But that's neither here nor there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a quick commercial, and we're going to address the elephant in the room. Somebody type elephant in the room. Somebody type elephant in the room. We'll be right back. Y'all make sure y'all do what you got to do. But make sure you type elephant in the room.
Prism has come to me with something. So everybody please listen. She's going to be talking at length, but this is extremely important, I feel. So with that said, Prism, you have the floor.
Hey everybody. I don't know if everybody's aware of what's going on in YouTube. Are you aware? If you are aware of the situation with the attorney, can you please put a 1 in the chat, please?
Yeah, everybody put a 1 in the chat if you know what person we're talking about. If you don't, basically we have a lawyer who's positioning himself to be the next Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels, while people would make fun of him and stuff, wasn't that dangerous. This guy, if he has his way, is going to be. This guy's a problem, and it's something that needs to be addressed.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bootleg show y'all a little bit of this video from the original conversation that this young woman had. I'm gonna put it on Bluetooth. I'm gonna show you because I don't want to get any issues. I don't want any copyright issues. I'm not trying to use anybody's work product. I just want y'all to hear out of this young lady's, handsome young woman's mouth what happened, according to her. Okay? And I think when you hear some of what happened, you'll have a much better understanding of the perspective of both parties, both combatants, we'll say. Okay? Y'all still with me? Hit the number 1 button if you're with me, okay? Hit the number 1 button.
Hanging out with your neighbors.
When I went over I sat down right in front of their door. They have a chair that's one of the spots that Tony likes to sit, but they were sitting at the top balcony, which is at the front of the house. They have a small little balcony there. So she handed me the cake. And
so Miss Vanessa, Mr. Vanessa, I'm not sure what the pronouns are, is describing what happened. Basically, she was living next to some Italian folks, and an old Italian guy and his wife. His younger children would come and take care of him. And they had this other neighbor named Shelly, another white fella, okay? And they had invited her over, and so she was sitting on the front porch. Keep listening.
Gigi took off, and I saw her running after a stray cat or some kind of bunny rabbit. And now Vanessa is talking about the dog took off running after some sort of stray cat or bunny rabbit. Direction of the attacker, which is right beside Tony's house. His name's Shelly, and went into his backyard. And I stayed on Tony's property, and I called over. That was the fella you just saw before. That was the attacker. Let's keep listening. Gigi, and she came back within like 10 seconds, and she knew she was in trouble, and I still had to discipline her. So I took her to my backyard. So I went down Tony's steps, up my steps, and put her. Listen very carefully to what this handsome young lady has to say. Very carefully. In my backyard where it's barricaded, and I went back down my steps, up Tony's steps to sit down and continue eating cake with Tony and Maria, with his daughter. And then that's when, from like the side, I can hear somebody, yelling out, "Hey, you, buddy, pal, I'm talking to you, punk," using those kind of terms. And
hey, you, buddy, pal, punk, I'm talking to you. Now, let me put the photograph back up. I want y'all to see the photographs. You hear that? Hey, you, buddy, pal, punk. It would seem to me, okay, if I'm coming from the perspective of the 300-pound would-be attacker, when I'm referring to somebody as buddy, punny, buddy, pal, or punk, I'm not, and I'm looking at this handsome young lady here. As I look at this handsome young lady right here, I don't see, well, I do see a buddy, a pal, or a punk. I do see that. I see if I'm angry with you, I'm going to address you as buddy. Hey, buddy. I can see that happening. So somebody type elephant in the room. Okay? Does this don't look like a woman in any shape or form? Now, I'm not saying it's right what happened to she or him, Shem, right? I'm not saying it's right what happened to Shem. I mean her, right? And I'm very happy that she was able to heal. But by observation, she comes off as being kind of, how do you say, studly, manly, perhaps even, maybe, right? So I'm just wondering if she thought she could go toe-to-toe with a biological male. Okay? See, everybody that gets beat is not a victim. And a lot of these black rainbow riders be in the men's bathroom. And there's another factoid that I want to share with you. Let me see if I can pull this up because I want you to hear what happened. And it's kind of, you got to listen to people. If you listen to people long enough, they'll tell you something. They'll tell you exactly who they are, who you're dealing with. Now, again, I'm not necessarily sure that the attacker knew that this handsome young lady was a girl. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily certain of that. But I do want to continue with this conversation. I want y'all to hear what this is saying, okay?
My eyes can get better, and even now.
The first time around, it honestly resonated with a lot of people. I'm sure you saw some of the responses.
This is another video.
It's a heartbreaking story. How have you been since, kind of coming out with that and telling what happened?
Overall, it's a blessing. I'm happy to be here, and
now look at that.
I'm happy that I have a lot of supporters and a lot of people that are willing to hear my story and the story that actually happens to many people. So overall, it's good. There's been some ups and downs, but it's a part of the self-healing.
I'm not justifying anything that happened to this person, okay? But I want y'all to hear a little bit.
I've decided to go with the surgery. So,
and this operation is for
the broken bone that's under my eyes, so that it doesn't change its shape.
Hopefully I can get to it.
Right, and there's no reimbursement program. So if you have receipts stronger than the person I was before, as much as we don't want to believe it, it's still our responsibility to heal and to get the help. So I'm on the right path. Some days it feels like taking 2 steps forward and you're taking 1 step back, but
what do you mean taking 1 step back?
Like, getting triggered, you're healing, you're outside, you're feeling great, and then you have, the son of the attacker following you in the vehicle. Definitely that puts me back in a place of being scared, feeling unsafe. And
did you contact the police about that?
I contacted them.
What did they say?
They said it wasn't considered an emergency.
It wasn't an emergency.
Right, because as soon as I seen that and I seen him recording me, I had my 2.
I'm not going to go through that whole video, but if you listen to this video, and I'm going to put the link up, she basically says that sometimes I think maybe had I just let him talk to me the way he wanted to talk to me, then none of this would have happened. Had I not said anything, which implies that he was speaking to this young person. And when I say him, I'm talking about Shelly, the person who attacked her. He was speaking to her very aggressively, like men speak to each other when they are angry. And she responded. And she's saying, I'm glad I did. Basically, I think maybe I shouldn't have responded like that, but then I think I should have, because I'm not going to let anybody talk to me that way. So let's look at the facts pattern at this point. You got a young woman who's dressed like a man, okay? A young woman who looks like a man. Somebody type Riley Freeman in the chat room, who allows her pit bull to run in some other man's backyard on Father's Day. And then, when confronted with him, the man who is obviously upset, perhaps maybe in fear for the safety of his family, he's already feeling wrong. You get aggressive with him, and then he beats the bejesus out of you, thinking you're a man. I'm just saying. See, she probably challenged that man. And here's what I want you ladies to understand. See, it's one thing to play it's just like being a gangster. It's easy to play gangster until the gangster shit start. It's easy to be a man until the fists get thrown and the bullets get to flying and the elbows and knees get to getting thrown in the air. See, you probably challenged that man. But lady, here's the thing. If you're going to play the role of man, you better realize that speaking aggressively to other men when they're angry is going to lead to a violent response. When a man is speaking aggressively to you, that is a challenge. So you can either escalate and meet him, or you can de-escalate. All right, man, whatever, bro. And let it go. That's just the way men are. You, ma'am, are a stud. You have not been socialized as a man. The other thing I can say, you definitely don't have a good black man at home who can fight your battles for you. You're a single black woman dressing like a man with no man at home. You living at your own risk. That dog, that pit bull can't replace a black man. Where your uncles at? You say your daddy died, where your uncles at? I get it. But based on where you dress and where I presume you're from, and that is the Horn of Africa, most of them are probably Muslim, and they probably don't agree with your lifestyle. See, you want to be a man, and you living around them folks unprotected by a man. Somebody type unprotected. And now you want men in the community to come help you. That was your wake-up call. Somebody type wake-up call in the chat room. See, the denial of the position that you're in is part of the problem. You just don't want to believe it. Well, let me help you out, my little Canadian friend. Even the trashiest, nastiest, poorest, dumbest member of them folks' group, and I said them folks, feel like they're better than you. But you still want to be around them, no matter how they treat you. Black folks here in America, we've never been unabused in this country. Mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, in any other form they can think of. It's perpetual abuse. Perpetual abuse practiced by one group of people consistently against another group. And so we've learned to operate. Some of us are off code, but for the most part, we've learned to operate. Somebody say Alabama in the chat room. Somebody type Montgomery, Alabama in the chat room. Somebody type Bama. Somebody type folding chair in the back room. But I just want you to understand, this is why female leadership fails. What you saw was a strong black woman looking more like a defenseless cattle of a woman being pummeled by a patriarchal man. This is why Africa folded up, because the brothers were a little too matriarchal. And this is why we as black men in the United States can't come up, because we're a little too matriarchal. And as long as there are patriarchs out there, we're going to have a problem. Now we're going to take a quick break, and I got another story for you. Somebody type open season in the chat room. Matter of fact, subscribe to the chat room. Everybody, welcome back to all the chat rooms. Y'all hit the #1 button. Let's continue this conversation. So what we just learned earlier, what we saw was a member of the Rainbow Coalition by way of Canada who was apparently confused as a black man. She apparently allowed her dog to get off the leash and run in some man's yard. That man then, on Father's Day, maybe putting his family under threat, I don't know. Either way, the dog was a pit bull. Thereafter, the man confronted her in an aggressive way. She didn't back down, and a fight ensued. Now, had this just been two dudes boxing it out, black, white, whatever, just been a fair fight, whatever. Fights happen between men all the time. Because this handsome young princess turned out to be a lady instead of a boy, it's on the news. Okay? Either way, the lesson is we see men of other races attacking these lovely ladies, these uncovered women. Now, that happened in Canada. I got another one for you. This is a situation that happened in a place called Peckham. Somebody type Peckham in the chat room, and I'm gonna let you see this footage for yourself. Okay, y'all let me know if you can hear it clearly. I'm gonna let this play. Okay, y'all let me know. Well, hold on, I'm gonna run it back. Take a look. Okay. So what you see going on, let me turn my mood music down. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna run it back again. I'm gonna let you see. And the reason I'm not playing it on my channel right on the screen is because I don't want no problems from the internet police. So this young woman is in a weave shop. And I didn't even know they had them in London. And she apparently has been accused of stealing. Okay? And we don't have any black Americans over there like this. So this is a black woman of either Caribbean descent. And now what you see happening outside, you see all these good folks outside protesting this incident. And some of you all may be asked, well, why are they, this woman was stealing? Why are they protesting an incident where the woman was stealing? That's what we're doing now. So some of you confused, but I got some facts that I want to share for you, which are really irrelevant to the subject that we're having, actually, because that's not specifically what we're talking about, but it's important to share the facts. So what happened? Well, Peckham's shop owner is seen, you see him choking this woman who's accused of stealing. She hadn't been convicted of stealing, she's just accused of stealing. She was shoplifting, apparently. That's what they say. And because of the video and the way it's circulated on the internet, the beauty shop owner is being boycotted or protested. And this is the beauty shop owner who's filmed choking this woman, who he accused of stealing. His name is Sohal Sandho, 45 years old. He's a proprietor of Peckham Hair Cosmetics in South London, which I think is the hood. Is South London the hood? It sounds like it's some hood stuff going on over there. And he says he was restraining the woman who he claimed attempted to take items from his shop. At that point, she became violent after he blocked her exit, he said. This is his story. Now, the police said a woman had been arrested on suspicion of assault and later bailed. Not theft, but assault. So keep that in mind. A demonstration opposing violence against women and the Black community was held outside the shop on Rye Lane on Tuesday after the footage of the incident emerged online. Okay? So what are we seeing here? What we're seeing is another Black woman being attacked. You got Canada. We know it happens here in the United States. We know that, right? But you see it happening in Canada. You see it happening in the UK, specifically London. And some of you are saying, well, you know, why are we supporting a woman who's stealing? You see? Why are we letting her get bailed out because of her race or because she's a woman? Why are we letting her play that? Why are these people protesting? Okay? Is stealing okay over there? All right? Well, my question is, was she really even stealing anything? Because somebody says, and there's some other information saying that she was just trying to pay and she was going for a basket. And I guess the basket was at the front door or something like that. And then he punched her and unprovoked, right? And then she tried to stop the attack and he choked her. And that means that the man is a criminal, okay? And he just attacked a Black woman because he probably thought he could get away with it. Apparently there's a full clip out there which shows that she punched him and slapped the store owner in the face multiple times. And it wasn't until she used the basket as a weapon that he choked her for 4 seconds. Either way, that's not the point. The point is you got open season on Black women, whether they be rainbow members or regular old basic Black around the world. Because the one thing that they all share in common is that they are strong, independent, and don't need a man. You understand that? All the women in the Western, this is what American Black women have done. I love you, lovely ladies, and this is your legacy. Your legacy is that you've spread strong, independent, don't need a man across the world. You've told the rest of the world that we don't have a protector. So you got all these violent, angry men who are oftentimes only held back from perpetrating violence because of their fear of other men and what other men will do to them. What do I mean? What I mean is, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than the gardener in a war zone. it's better to be knowledgeable and proficient in perpetrating violence than not to be. And it's also good if other people know you're dangerous. Somebody type dangerous in the chat room. Somebody type dangerous in the chat room. Men typically regard other men as dangerous. And because other men see us as dangerous, they leave our women folk and our children and us alone. Now, if you're one of the group of women who are out there telling the world, we don't have men, we don't need our men, matter of fact, we're going to disrespect our men in public, guess what's going to happen? These other men are going to say, well, hey, you're vulnerable. You're no longer dangerous because you're not protected by those men who are dangerous, who could be dangerous to my health. That's what you see happening. See, men are violent without racism. Men have a propensity for violence anyway. Racism is just another reason. Hell, you could be from Philadelphia. Right? You from Philadelphia and the San Francisco 49ers come play your favorite football team in Philadelphia. I'm pretty sure it's going to be some violence because you don't like them and their team. And the representatives of their team just make you angry. And so because of that, it's time to perpetuate violence. That's how men are. We don't need a good reason to be violent. We got sports and games, boxing, martial arts, MMA, football, violence for no reason at all. We teach our children to be violent. I live in Texas. Shooting ranges are a big business out here because you got people thinking about violence all day. So these are who's out there. This is what men do. And some of you are saying, oh my God, yeah, your little cute son is the same way. Your husband, your dad bod husband, he's the same way. All of us have a propensity to do violence. Men who don't have a propensity to do violence or won't do violence, most men don't even respect them. We don't want to be around dudes like that. The whole reason that bullies are necessary is because bullies make sure that everybody in the group is willing to respond with violence if pushed. Because whether you like it or not, violence sets up boundaries. Can't go over there, might get hit in the jaw. Can't go over there, he might kick me in the back. Leave him alone. Get hurt over there. But you ladies, you have so neutered men. Men are afraid to show you who they really are. You really don't see who real men are or how men really are until you enter into a war zone or a penitentiary. Or you happen to get into a fist fight. Or you provoke a man out of his westernized shell and he shows you who he really is. And that's what I believe happened. Couple that with the fact that you don't have any protection. Uncovered women. And the nerve. Whether you're a rainbow rider or not, you acting like a man. Ladies, the minute you put your hands on a man, you put yourself in the position of a man. I know everybody tells you, but you should never hit a woman. Shit. I'm just saying. Let me give you some reality. I'm your Uncle D, baby. I'm going to speak the truth to you. I ain't got no daughters, but if I did, I'm going to say, look, baby, if you woman enough to put your hands on some man out there, you can't really guarantee that he ain't going to bust you between your eyes. And I know, daddy teach your brothers and daddy say, don't hit girls. That's bad. I know. But everybody ain't raised like that. And everybody's culture is not your culture. You rear up at a man and then you catch 5 between the eyes and you wonder what happened. Hey, why was that 100-pound woman challenging that 300-pound man? Why was this young lady who, I mean, here's the thing. Over there in Peckham, is that what it's called? Peckham? Even if you were stealing, at the point he grabbed you up, either you gonna catch that ass whooping, ma'am, or you just gonna drop. Ain't no fighting no more. And nobody's coming to save you because you said you don't need a man. And let me just go ahead, and I already know the answer to this, but let me just go ahead. Somebody type Brickgate in the chat room. Somebody type Brickgate in the chat room. Once these men found out that that lady didn't even like men, they felt no inclination to defend her, even hypothetically. So for you ladies out there who are members of the alphabet community, you need to understand something. You can't denounce men on one hand and then turn around when you need a man, call for us to come rescue. You are not a princess. You are a she-him, a shim. You place yourself in a position of, you are a competitor. These men are not coming out to help you, ladies. And you're a member of the alphabet community, especially if you're a rough rider. Somebody type rough rider in the chat room. I don't know all the names of them folks. But I don't want Google to demonetize me either. These men don't feel obligated to protect you. Why should they? You tell them you dress like a man. You see the little 100-pound? She had the braids on. Looking like a gangster rapper. If you had a cute little dress on, ma'am or sir, cute little dress on with your hair down, nobody watching would have let that 300-pound man beat you up. Nobody. Even the little Italian people, they would have said something. The police would have showed up and said, come on, man, you're a 300-pound dude. You beating up this little 100-pound lady who's cute. Your femininity is what protects you. Some of you ladies think that makes you weak. Your femininity is what protects you. Your grace, your submission. But as long as you out there acting hard, you're going to have a hard life. Look, let me say it like this. Hard bitches have a hard life. And as long as you want to be a hard broad, you're going to have a hard life. Especially consider that you're uncovered. These men are not obligated to protect you. And part of the protection is you being feminine. You're out there dressed like, and look, nobody, I don't want to see nobody get beat up like that and need surgery and whatnot. But if you're going to act like a man, you're going to get treated like a man. And you look like a man. And for those of you guys who don't know who I'm talking about, scroll back to the beginning. I'm talking about the first young lady. You look like a man. Dude, what did he call you? Buddy? Pal? Called you a punk? He thought you were a man. And you're black. This is where the color comes in. These are unprotected women. The whole world knows that. You ladies, y'all better change. Let me say this, ladies. I want you ladies to understand something. Y'all better come on back. Come on back home, because ain't nothing out there but an ass whooping for you. These men out here, these foreign men who y'all think y'all gonna run to, All they gonna do is put hands and feet on you. You need to come on back home. You may not like black men. You may think we the scum of the earth. But other men know that we fight well. They know that. They know that we will defend ourselves. So very rarely, unless it's 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, they're not really gonna try and jump you as a man. But you, women, especially women with children, look, you got a problem. You're unprotected. It's a lot that was said in this conversation, man. I look forward to hearing what y'all have to say in response. But what I see is we got foreign women catching fades and getting whooped on because they strong and independent and don't need a man too. Irrespective of what happened in the story doesn't matter. That shopkeeper wouldn't have beat no man like that. A shopkeeper wouldn't have beat me or beat my woman like that if I don't give a shit what she stole. I'm gonna beat your ass. Because that's my woman. Period. Women who are walking with their men typically don't have these problems. Because men see what? They see other men as what? Dangerous. A threat to their lives. But you walking solo, baby. Ladies, you walking solo. And now it's just spreading across the world. And it's going to get worse. So heed this warning. It's going to get worse. What my girls say, shout out to Crimson Cure. You hyenas don't stand a chance against these lions from these other prides. You don't stand a chance. They're going to eat you up and spit you out. You don't stand a chance. You need to get with your own men. You need to come back to the lion fold. You need to reform. Because the wages of sin are what? Death. There's a reason why we have order and structure, why man is at the head, why man is the leader. Because the leader is the one, it's not because of control, it's because the leader is the one that takes the hits and takes the shots. The leader is the first one that gets put down. And so the people behind following can adjust and new leaders will emerge. We don't want to see black women getting beat up in the street like that, man. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see that. But until I start talking to you in this cold-blooded sort of way, you won't understand how serious the issue is. You lovely ladies are going to keep getting your asses whooped because you're unprotected. That's what I'm saying. Excuse the language. I'm doing my best not to do that. But you're going to keep getting it. And you hard-headed. And you're going to keep taking these L's and keep getting disappointed. You keep trying to move around them folks. They don't want you around there. Just because you work for them, just because they'll put their little ding-a-lings in you, don't mean they want to live around you. They see you the same way as they always have. And it's best for you to come around your own people. You ladies need to apologize. You need to submit because it's going to get worse. It's happening here in the United States. Unprotected black women getting, hurt. Happening overseas. Unprotected black women getting hurt. All because you've bit the apple of feminism and you won't let it go. You need to regurgitate that. That's no good for you, ladies. And I'm speaking to you with all the love I can muster. As an older, more mature man, I don't want to see that. And here's the other thing I understand. Some of my brothers are hotheads. And what will end up happening is you'll kick off a race war. because unprotected also means out of control. You don't have a man around you to tell you to shut up, be quiet. You sparking up something that you don't need to spark. And then you drag one person in. Next thing you know, we got Alabama happening. An out of control melee. A racially driven fight that happened because one hothead couldn't control his temperature. But the loser is the one that end up laid out in the street. That's not the type of fight that we need to fight with these folks. And any of you fools out there who think that that's the type of fight we need to fight with these folks, you haven't read Dr. Francis Cress Welsing well enough. These are people that will not be ruled. They will destroy this earth before they allow themselves to be ruled. They will leave this earth and colonize other planets before they allow themselves to be ruled, especially by you. That's what you need to understand. This is not the type of battle. This is not going to be a battle of guns and bombs and such. Read Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Read what she has to say. And she explains that. These are rebellious people. They rebel against each other. They were slow coming to power, and it's going to be slow getting them out of power. I don't care what these pro-black Negroes tell you. You're not going to win a war with these folks. But what you are doing, ladies, especially with your uncontrolled selves, think about it. Well, what you are doing is you're going to spark up a race war. And some of you ladies want that. You want the destruction. You want a revolution because you don't like your status, your social status. And that's just selfish. It was those 4 girls in Alabama that sparked off the civil rights movement. Remember that? You guys remember that? That bombing at that church? Y'all remember that? Do the history on the civil rights movement in America. It was the loss of those 4 young girls that was the reason that we had the civil rights movement. That's what kickstarted it. That's what galvanized all these black men, whether you was a gangster or a politician. It got us all on code. And that's the love that we have for our black women. I hate when I hear these ladies talk about, oh, we were never protected. That's not true. Black men have sacrificed their lives for you ladies throughout their entire existence, especially here in the United States and in the Western Hemisphere. We've always sacrificed. Oftentimes, the daughters and women were sent to school and the boys were left uneducated on the farms. They sent the girls off to school to be nurses and school teachers. And the boys, nah, you don't need to read. The girls at least were able to get education all the way to the 8th grade. Most of the boys back in the day got to the 2nd and 3rd grade, and they had to sit in the fields and work. Black men have always sacrificed for the best interest of black women. We've always put our boys 2nd, 3rd. These are lies that these people are telling you all. But now we just at a point where men are like, nah, we're going to pump the brakes on this a little bit. But you have to be intelligent, ladies. Whatever lifestyle you decide to live, you got to deal with the consequences of that. Manhood is a very violent endeavor. And if you decide to put yourself in the position of a man, you're going to, with men, and be aggressive, that's what's going to happen in response. Nevertheless, if I've motivated you, if you've heard something that you've enjoyed, if you've been inspired, if you've learned something, then I would appreciate it if you would pay me for my time. That's really all you can do for me at this point is pay me for my time. The Cash App is available. The Super Chats are available on the Blizzard King channel. And until then, until we complete this process, let's take this intermission and come back. Y'all be with Jesus. Hallelujah.
me say me under the blood. Jesus cover me under the blood. Under the blood, me say me under the blood. Jesus, you may cover me under the blood. In the morning when me wake up, and the blood of Jesus me take up. And when me feel like me, I go break up. Put the blood on me face just like a makeup. In the morning when me wake up, and the blood of Jesus me take up. And when me feel like me heart break up, put the blood on me face just like a makeup. Under the blood, under the blood, Jesus cover me. Jesus, you will cover me. Under the blood, me say me. Under the blood, me say me. Under the blood, Jesus cover me.
I'll be alright. I'll be alright. When I make it happy, I'll be alright. I'm gonna pull up my long white rope. So gonna wear the ground. When I make it to heaven. Right, Sharon. When I make it to heaven. When I make it to heaven. Say that I'll be alright. I wanna go to heaven. 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 Why the streets up there? Heaven. I'll tell you what's going on. I wanna go to heaven. I wanna go to heaven. I wanna be some milk. Heaven. Milk in the honey. Heaven. I wanna find my truck. Heaven. My truck. Oh, heaven. When I make it to heaven. Make it to heaven. Y'all better sing heaven. Make it to heaven. I'm gonna put on my long white robe. Say, cornbread. My long white robe. When I make it to heaven. Put on my long white robe. I'm gonna put on my long white robe. And then I walk down low. Yes, sir. I walk down low. I walk down low. I walk down low. Oh, walk down low. Y'all better come on. See, yeah, you got to let me.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to the broadcast. Welcome back to the broadcast. Everybody in the hizzle, hit the number 1 button, baby. Make sure you're still here. The link is in the chat room, man. If y'all want to come through and chop it up with me about this conversation, it's a lot to digest. I'm really looking forward to reading I'm looking forward to reading the comment section. But first of all, let me go ahead and put my mood music on so I can play the mood music to these cool ass donations that I've received from some of my favorite folks out here in these YouTube streets. Let me make sure. Matter of fact, I got some new music for y'all, baby. I got some new music for you, baby. We're gonna play a new hot beat, man. Courtesy of Beans and Cornbread, baby. Two of the hottest producers in the country right now. Let me see if I can get this crackulating. Bam. Let me see. Let me know if y'all can hear that, man. You're still a little short on the cash apps, man, but that's okay. I know. It's the 15th. Actually, I know y'all got y'all checks. Y'all need to go ahead and break bread. But if you didn't pick up anything, I'll try to catch you next time. I just want you guys to, at the point where you do feel as though you've learned something, and pay me for my time. But if I didn't work hard enough, I'll keep working and I'll keep on doing it until you get what you need. Nevertheless, big shout out to some of my favorite folks up in here. My man Jamal Smith, he says, love and appreciation, Uncle D. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you for that. And then, of course, Salty Balls, he said, Studebaker 3:16. Hallelujah. Thine soul believeth in the everlasting strife that the hellion and the berotten bum, hallelujah, and her phantasm of phallus, that is swag, conscious and full demeanor, was smited back into her being a girl. Amen, amen, brother. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise God. And I know the Lord is proud of you, D. Shout out to David Dice. Thank you so much, man. He said, Uncle D, aka family, I'm definitely going to need to buy your books. Yeah, man, if you want to buy my books, man, the books are available. I still have books left. You can email me at sperlingdennis@gmail.com. And of course, if you want to do an interview, so if you want to do a one-on-one consultation, it's the same email. Now let's go ahead and get to these cash apps, man. These cash apps got real interesting tonight. First and foremost, let me go ahead and just cut to the chase and say big, super big, magnificent, magnanimous shout out. So we're gonna call him Mr. Derek. Thank you so much for that $500 cash app. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. That is outstanding. We got a video for you. We're going to play some music for you, man. Aside from that, big shout out to Mr. Marshall, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Todd. Thank you so much, Mr. Vincent. Big shout out to Common Sense Logic, my man, Alvin Holden. And of course, Salty Balls, thank you so much for your cash app. My man, Trey43TX, thank you so much. Randy Irvin. And the Quiet Storm, also Mr. Gordon and Mr. Anderson Jr., who donated earlier, along with Mr. Seawright. That's a cool name, Mr. Seawright. Hallelujah. Thank you guys for your cash apps, man. I appreciate that. Y'all probably were watching Co-Parenting with the Sperlings or something, or you saw this on the rebroadcast and you wanted to just show your love and appreciation for my hard work. Thank you guys so much, man. I really do appreciate what you guys do here, man. You know, it keeps me motivated, you know, coming in and doing this every day and coming up with different topics that you all can take and build with and relate to. It's fulfilling, you know, it's taxing. Definitely. It's definitely become a full-time occupation. You know, it consumes my evenings and my nights, but my family understands, and I think I'm doing good work here. But again, brothers, the whole point of tonight was for us it was an exercise in not jumping to conclusions, because you can throw your life away. And I believe the young brothers call it crashing out. Somebody type crash out. Somebody type crash out in the chat room. You can crash out and not even know what you're crashing out for. You at the pearly gates and don't even know why you're there. You're a hero for no reason. You know what I'm saying? There was not even a conflict, and you become a hero and you end up crashing out. And I don't care what these other folks are telling you guys to do. You should not have a knee-jerk reaction to protecting unprotected women when you see them being, attacked. Now, there are certain situations where you just gonna feel inclined to jump in, and you just follow your gut feelings. But oftentimes there's more than meets the eye. There's a lot more going on than meets the eye. You don't know the history of the folks. You don't know what this person has done. You don't know. And I would hate for you all to waste your lives and your legacies. And your tombstone reads, "Here lies a would-be hero who died for no reason at all." Forgotten, because they're going to forget you quick. You know? You want to know, if you want to stop being concerned about what people think about you, go to a couple of funerals and go to the after funeral. You know, when they have listen to how quickly the conversations go from sadness to smiling and laughter. Those people take those black clothes off, they take those shoes off, they take a shower, and you've forgotten. Now imagine throwing your life away at 20-something, 30-something, 40 years old, Right, the repass for a stranger. You didn't get a chance to be a grandpa, a great grandpa with a legacy because you threw your life away defending the honor of a dishonorable woman or unprotected woman. Where's her husband at? Where's the members of her family? Why are they not covering her? What do they know about this woman that you don't? Maybe they've already deemed her unworthy of being covered. And you step in the place of these men thinking you know them better. You know this woman better than her own family knows her. And you go in there and get yourself killed or maimed. Not even knowing the whole story. We've had Brickgate. We've had the Crane Chronicles. We've had the woman trying to steal some stuff, the Peckham Bandit, trying to steal hair. And now we got this studly young woman, the studly woman with the pit bulls. We don't even know. And you just throw your life away. Brother, welcome, Cody. Welcome, Cody Marshall. It's always good to have you here, man. This is a very interesting conversation. I really didn't know what direction this was going to take. You really can't put a cap on this. And the reason you can't put a cap on the most I could say, you have black women in other countries being pummeled by foreign men. That's what I see happen. That's the commonality. Because they, and the best I can conclude is that these foreign men see black women in Western worlds the same way as they see black American women. Strong, independent, and don't need a man, which translates to this woman is uncovered. There's nobody here to protect her. There's nobody that can do anything to me if I decide to put hands, to let my male nature free upon her. That's what I see, brother. And I'm trying to get a focus of it to try to figure out where is this thing going. I know it's going to get worse. There's going to be more incidents. What are your thoughts, Cody?
Well, you shouldn't defend, women like that are hostile and, and quarrelsome. Those type of women, you need to avoid those type of women. And people like that usually say, they protect black women. But what do you mean protect?
Let me pull this photograph up. I need you to. Is this really a black woman? Let me go. Go ahead, keep talking. Go ahead, keep talking.
I was looking on Twitter now this morning. I think a couple white girls got, threw rocks at these two black guys' car or whatever, and the black guy just started welling on both of them, pretty much was welling on both of the white girls. Okay, and this was on Twitter. I saw this on Twitter this morning. Okay, it started with them, and you can hear by them trying to, I think the guy threw by him trying to throw the girl down. You hear the rock drop on the ground. No one came to the rescue. They was trying to help her. Everybody, some of them was trying to come into a rescue, but it was just too late after that.
Which one of these people which one of these people is a boy and which one is not a boy?
Well, that's not a boy on the right.
It took you a long time to answer that question, considerably speaking. We all know that, but my whole point is this: if you see this handsome young lady walking down the street, and she gets aggressive, she gets aggressive with you, and you assume that this is a man, then you're gonna treat this handsome young lady like a man. You see what I mean? And that seems to be what's happening. On top of the fact, this is a black person. So I don't know what happened in that situation in Canada. All I see is an example of a black woman in her masculine frame that got her frame tore out by a 300-pound black dude, a white guy. On the flip side, okay, and they keep trying to build this as a white racist dude, and he might be, I don't know, but there's a lot of other stuff that we could talk about. A pit bull running my backyard with my family, scared my children on Father's Day. I might be angry too. You see, but once the cloud of racism come in, we don't really look at the facts with any sort of detail. See, this is happening too much for us to just blame it on racism. There's too many black women who are unprotected, who are acting masculine and manly and bucking up against men, whether they're part of the alphabet community or not. There's too many of them out there, and there's too much happening. These are women who are acting like men, who are confronting men, who are receiving the punishment or the response that men would give other men. You attack me, I'm gonna attack you. That's what men do. What advice do you have for these young ladies who are out there who think they're dudes? Go ahead.
Don't poke the bear.
Don't poke the bear. Somebody type "don't poke a bear" in the chat room.
Or you're gonna get mauled and clawed to death. That's basically it.
Yeah. It's a lot, man. It's a lot going on in the world. The world is changing. We're getting out of the gender roles, and because of that, it's a new world that's happening. But Cody, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for the cash apps. Thank you so much for the super chats.
No problem,
I hope you guys, and shout out to you too, Cody. I see you could join Cody and Reggie Johnson. Shout out to y'all.
I want to tell you, Mr. Sperling, today is my birthday, so I'm just in.
Feliz le cumpleaños a ti, papi. What are you doing in the NO down there, man? You gonna hang out?
Right now, I'm trying to get my body right now. I'm back in the gym again, and I got that set up. Okay. So I'm trying to, it's time for me to lose this weight now.
There it is, man. Make sure you get plenty of water. Nevertheless, man, big shout out to everybody who came through. Thank you so much. We'll be back soon. God bless y'all. I love you guys, man. Think about what I'm saying. Just think about it. I just want you to analyze the facts. Yeah, racism plays a part in everything, but there's some more superseding factors other than just race. Y'all keep that in mind. Other than that, this is Uncle D. I'm out.